Singapore Walking Tour. Hello guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Travel the World. If you want to visit any other country in the next video, then tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Today I am going to talk about things to do in Singapore. It is officially the Republic of Singapore, is a sovereign island city-state in maritime Southeast Asia. It has the second greatest population density in the world. Modern Singapore was founded in 1819 by Sir Stamford Raffles as a trading post of the British Empire. Tourism is a major industry and contributor to the Singaporean economy, attracting 18.5 million international tourists in 2018, more than 3 times Singapore's total population. Singapore is the 5th most visited city in the world and second in the altogether. The sector generated approximately 8.6% of Singapore's employment in 2016. Let's begin the list of eye-catching places in Singapore. Gardens by the Bay. The Gardens by the Bay is a nature park spanning 101 hectares, 250 acres, in the central region of Singapore, adjacent to the Marina Reservoir. Gardens by the Bay was part of the nation's plans to transform its garden city to a city in a garden, with the aim of raising the quality of life by enhancing greenery and flora in the city. First announced by Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong at Singapore's National Day rally in 2005, Gardens by the Bay was intended to be Singapore's premier urban outdoor recreation space and a national icon. This is a hugely popular tourist attraction in Singapore, and rightly so. The breadth of plants and the creative ways in which they're displayed is awe-inspiring. In one part of the conservatory, the cloud forest mimics the cool moist ecology of the tropical highlands. It has a treetop walk and an oft-photographed indoor 114-foot waterfall. National Gallery Singapore. National Gallery Singapore owns the largest public collection 9,000+ works of modern art in Southeast Asia. It is spread across 2 beautiful national monuments, City Hall and the country's former Supreme Court. The focus here is on Singaporean and Southeast Asian art from the 19th century to present day. One permanent exhibition covers the history and architecture of the National Gallery's transformation from municipal building to world-class art museum. Another partners with the National Archives of Singapore and the National Library Board to dissect Singapore's constitution as it evolved between 1819 and 1965. There are always temporary exhibitions. Past lineups have dipped a toe into Impressionism, Chinese calligraphy, and Vietnamese lacquer painting. This museum is popular with both locals and tourists. If you need peace and quiet, go early and avoid weekends and public holidays. If you wish to avoid more lines than necessary, buy your tickets in advance online. Kampong Glam. Back in the 1800s, Kampong Glam was a Muslim quarter, home to the Sultan of Johor and a community of Arabs, Javanese, Bugis, and Boyanese. Today, those influences have melded with an influx of cool shops and cafes, turning the area into a hip hangout where you can do everything from grab a kebab to snag a new K-pop wardrobe. Here, minimalist boutiques sit next to Mediterranean restaurants and conservation shophouses designed in the late shophouse and Art Deco styles, 1900 to 1940. The area is still an important part of the Muslim community, with devout Muslims going to pray at the Sultan Mosque and many coming to sample the diverse halal offerings that aren't available elsewhere. Along with stores and eateries, Kampong Glam is also a treasure trove of cultural attractions like Sultan Mosque, Singapore's biggest mosque, the Malay Heritage Center, and the country's only vintage camera museum. No free tours here, but there are plenty of paid options available from different companies. The best thing to do, however, is to visit the National Heritage Board's website for a free walking trail map. The area can easily be explored on foot without a guide. Jewel Changi Airport. It might seem odd to tell travelers to hang out in an airport, but Jewel Changi is no ordinary airport. The transportation hub is also a nature-themed shopping, dining, and entertainment extravaganza designed by architect Moshe Safdie. The project's highlights include the Rain Vortex, a 7-story tall indoor waterfall, an indoor forest with suspended walkways, and nearly 300 stores. This is a game changer for travelers on layovers. This is a blessing for travelers of all stripes, those stuck on a layover, those with kids in tow, and those who'd rather do anything other than stare at a screen. There's no such thing as being bored while waiting for a flight at Jewel Changi. This place is wall-to-wall fun, with bountiful shopping, excellent food, and that wild indoor waterfall. If you're just checking in for your flight, about 20 airlines will now let you check in 24 hours early just to experience the majesty that is Singapore's new crown jewel. The Inton. The Inton is a private home that houses one of Singapore's most impressive collections of Peranakan, a group descended from Chinese settlers, artifacts. Owner Alvin Yap has spent 30-plus years collecting 1,500 objects from Peranakan culture, most notably Kaset Manik, ornate beaded slippers worn by Straits Chinese women and enamel tiffin carriers hand-painted in delicate floral patterns. Yap's post-war home is a labor of love, and it shows in the meticulous way that he has arranged every square inch of it. Visits are strictly by appointment only. Since visits are strictly by appointment, the Inton draws very intentional visitors, mostly serious people interested in learning more about Peranakan history and culture. Yap, guide, walks guests through the history of the Peranakans and explains some unique aspects of the culture, including the lavish wedding ceremonies and intricate embroidery practiced by the Nyonya women. If you haven't been already, it'll certainly make you want to visit the Peranakan Museum in town and explore more of the Peranakan food offerings at the local hawker centers. Pulau Ubin. Pulau Ubin translates to Granite Island. From the 1800s, the island was known for its granite quarries. But when these closed down in the 1970s and jobs dwindled, its residents began leaving. Today, the island is home to fewer than 50 people, who have chosen to stay for the old way of life. Which is exactly what people visit for too. Stepping onto Pulau Ubin is like time traveling to the way Singapore was decades ago. Here, the grass grows wild, rickety vehicles traverse dirt tracks, and the island's inhabitants live in wooden shacks. Even getting to it is old-fashioned. You take a 10-minute ride on a chugging bumboat from Changi Point Ferry Terminal. The most popular way to get around and see the sights is by bicycle, which can be rented from one of a couple of kiosks at the Pulau Ubin jetty. There are multiple mountain biking trails here for visitors to exercise those cycling chops. You can walk, of course, but the terrain is undulating and the weather hot and humid, making the journey on foot tough. Merlion Park. This promenade overlooking Marina Bay is home to Singapore's iconic 28-foot Merlion statue, a half-fish, half-lion stone carving that shoots water into the bay. The fish symbolizes Singapore's beginnings as a fishing village, while the lion head is a nod to Singapura, which means Lion City in Malay. Erected in 1972, it remains one of the nation's most popular tourist attractions. Don't miss the Merlion Cub, a mini, 6.5 feet, statue that sits in a fountain behind the big guy. The park is mostly wheelchair and stroller accessible, but if you use either you may need to ask for assistance in some spots. There are a lot of concrete steps to sit on, but also tourists sitting on them. The blazing hot sun can be debilitating, so those who are sensitive to heat might consider visiting after dark, when the Merlion and Skyline are both lit up. As a major tourist attraction, it's surrounded by mediocre restaurants and souvenir shops. Marina Bay Sands. This massive Moshe Safdie design mall, casino, convention center, and hotel is perhaps Singapore's most iconic building. Built at a cost of $5.8 billion, its three imposing towers prop up a cantilevered 3-acre skypark 57 stories above ground, which holds an infinity pool, restaurants, bars, a jogging track and more. The towers themselves house everything from Singapore's most luxurious collection of boutiques to its largest nightclub, complete with Ferris wheel and slide, along with 2,500 hotel rooms, a museum, and a skating rink. A must-visit is the Art Science Museum, Singapore's most future-forward, with its rotating schedule of shows that have included an immersive virtual adventure featuring cutting-edge Google technology and a social augmented reality experience. Or check out the view from the 57-story high skypark. It's Singapore's best, even if entrance does cost about $17 for anyone who is not a hotel guest. Since covering the length of the mall alone can be a good 30-minute walk though, we wish there were some breather benches along the way. There are none. Another gripe, there aren't as many toilets as you'd expect for such a large building, and when you do find one, the stalls often don't seem to be in good repair. Haw Par Villa. Forget manicured or wild, this 8-acre outdoor art park is bizarre but a feast for the eyes. It was set up in the 1930s before the advent of TV and the internet by Tiger Balm founder and philanthropist Ah Boon Ha. who commissioned more than 1,000 detailed sculptures and dioramas that would teach traditional Chinese values. Think attractions like the 10 Courts of Hell, a maze of chambers each depicting a very graphic scene of how souls are punished and tortured for different types of sins. Back then, it was popular and crowded, but has become less so over the years. And though it's lost a bit of its luster, that only lends to its charm and raw feel. What you get here is an unfiltered, in-your-face lesson on Chinese morals and culture that doesn't sit behind velvet ropes or glass panels and isn't crawling with tourists. The area is pretty easy to navigate. There's clear signage on site and a fun online map that shows where the main statues and attractions are. This is a place for those who want to see culture at its most colorful and raw, not the sanitized version in a museum. It's also a place for those with a taste for the eccentric, the bizarre, the weird, and the wonderful. So, which of the following places you have liked the most and why? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like the video as well. Thanks for watching.